Hi, Emily. How are you doing?
Hi, Jessie. I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Good. This is the after party for When We're Not Hustling, episode 11, Phoenix Calida.
Oh, talking about gardening. It's so great. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment, follow, whatever you want. Just engage with
Yeah.
us.
Yeah. Follow us on YouTube, which is where you're seeing this, but also listen to the real episodes. These are the
You
fun
can listen to the
ones.
podcast here on YouTube or anywhere you get your podcasts. And you can find us on all the socials if you want to be reminded and see cute pictures. We're
Yeah.
at Not Hustling Pod everywhere you find socials.
That was good. Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
getting better at
Yeah,
this.
we are getting better at this. I have talked to Phoenix many times, and I am always delighted every time that I do.
Just delightful, like just
Hmm.
incredible.
Yeah.
And someone's like, "Oh, I'm to talk about gardening." You're like, "Oh, cool. Tulips, like
Yeah.
farm. What are we talking about here?"
I mean, yeah, I thought that like because I always had seen them talking about that, and I was like, oh, I want to know why they're so into gardening. I mean, my mom is really into
Right.
gardening, and sometimes I will pull weeds in my front yard as like a stress release, but I don't consider like, and also because they need to be pulled, but like,
Sure.
but I don't like consider myself somebody who's like into gardening. And it was so interesting to because when I'm listening to her, I'm like, oh my God, I want to jam. I want to make jam. I want to
Yeah.
like have all the fruit and all of the stuff.
No, I love it. I am a growing person. I've got my little plants in the bag.
Yeah.
I right now a lot of baby care, so not as much
Yeah.
gardening. We also just live in a house, so there's not room for it. But I get a huge kick out of just I'll grow herbs every
Hmm.
spring and summer just on
Hmm.
the porch and then cooking with those and
Yeah.
especially getting to show the kids that. Like
Yeah.
there's this huge joy in being able to take someone who's only shopped at a grocery store and
Yeah.
be like, look, it's a plant. And you just pick it and you put it in the pan.
Yeah.
It's like the coolest thing.
There
It's
is
like
something,
magic.
yeah, there is something that's weird about that because, like, when I was growing up, my mom didn't garden. I mean, she had four kids,
Mhm.
so I think she was very busy, but like later in life, she did. So I didn't like see that when I was growing up. And my mother-in-law is really into gardening and has like this huge
Mm.
backyard, and they have pumpkins and squash and zucchini and lettuce and all of this
Um,
stuff. And and a bunch of flowers and stuff. But it was funny because the first time that she was like, "Oh, I got like this lettuce for the salad we did in the backyard," and I'm thinking, "Wait, I don't even know. I'm not even sure how that is. Like, is does it like?" I'm still
right.
as I'm thinking about it, I'm like, "Wait, but it's not under the ground. I think it's on top of the. I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know. I don't know how lettuce works. Pretty sure it's on top of the ground.
It is. It is
Yeah. Okay.
definitely on top of the ground. Lettuce is a leaf vegetable, so you are going to eat all the leaves and
Yeah.
reject you just pretty much throw away the roots,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
the little roots, and right where you see the cut in the grocery
Yeah.
store, that below that's just roots. It's just
Just
a little
roots,
root
yeah.
ball. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's
Yeah.
funny
It's super cute. Like when
when
you
you
grow
only see your
lettuce,
food
it
like
looks
in
like
the grocery
lettuce.
store, you're like, huh, I don't even know what this looks like when it comes out of the
Right.
ground.
No, I didn't realize that was really a reality for people because I grew up on the other side of things. I was always around growing things,
Yeah.
whether it was communes or just having our own little gardens at home and just, it was constantly we grew food. There was
Yeah.
food to be had, we grew it.
Yeah.
Like um, and I remember having that experience as a very young person, like, oh,
Hmm.
that's how asparagus grows.
Hmm.
Asparagus, by the way, just pops up out of the ground, each little
Wait,
shoot.
like what? Really? Didn't
Yeah,
know
yeah, funny ones. Artichokes
that.
grow at the end of a stalk, and
Oh,
artichoke is a flower. So it's this big bushy plant,
oh,
and it
yeah.
throws this spike up the middle, and then the artichoke blooms at the top. You look
That's
back at it, like, what's that?
pretty. Yeah.
Yeah, but it makes me sad that we don't teach that in schools. I feel
Yeah.
like that's
Right.
really something that, maybe we don't know, maybe everyone doesn't need to know how to make preserves. That's fair.
Yeah.
But
Right.
just a little bit of outside time, we had a school
Yeah.
garden
Yeah.
in our elementary school, and our class would maintain one, and it We
I've
got
been
made fun
thinking
of because I
about
brought chicken poop to our group because I knew that that was really good for what we were growing, and everyone's like, "Ew, you bringing poop?" And then our garden was so good, and everyone was like, "So what's up with that poop?"
I have been thinking so much about the fact that like I am a person who has no practical skills. Like I can't do anything.
I
Like
mean,
I I
I
can
think that
like
you have such good interpersonal skills, you never had to hone them because people were like, "No, no, I'll get that. You keep talking and doing this thing."
yeah, but yes, I mean, I've never done like practical things. And so it's funny, I'm having this conversation with my partner today. We're driving, and I was saying that like in our hallway, we have this big painting that we just kind of inherited from my mom. I don't love it. It's not like my style. And I was like, you know what I want to do? I want to take that off the wall. And then we have this whole hallway wall. I think it would be cool to do like a collage of different pictures and frames or maybe mirrors or things like that. And
Hmm.
they're like, "Oh yeah, that would be cool." And then they said, "Okay, but I have very intentionally learned not how to do that because PJ is a person that's very practical, that has like a lot of skills, that can
Right.
do is like a jack of all trades and learned
Yeah.
early how to do all kinds of things. So, and my last husband was an engineer, like by training. So, like, I've just been partnered with people who have like practical skills, and I do
Right.
not have any. And so then we're driving, and they say, you know, I think that's a really cool idea. Like, I am all for that. I just want to make sure that this does not become my project to like frame and like mat all of this stuff. And then I was
Right.
like, you know what? I would love to learn how to do that. Like it would be cool
Right.
to like have a skill where I like
Yeah.
made something. And this is what I was thinking about when we were talking to Phoenix too, that like I could be like, oh, this is my wall of the things that like I did because I don't, I mean, I'm a writer, so I have like lots of articles, but like
Yeah.
that's been the thing that I do, but that's so not tangible, and
Sure. Yeah. No,
um
I recognize that. Yeah. Having that
yeah,
thing, like, no, I
yeah,
made this.
right.
Framing and matting is, you have to get some equipment, but it's not terribly difficult. And it is so expensive to have it done professionally. And
Yeah,
learning how to do it is probably one of the more practical things to pick up
right. And I
for
think that's
cost
probably
to
pretty
result.
satisfying to be like, I
Oh
can
my
change
gosh. Yeah.
how my house looks with this
Yeah.
skill. Yeah.
Definitely.
So
And
yeah, I've
picking
been
the
thinking a
different
lot.
mats and colors. And oh my God, that
Yeah,
would be so fun
I
to pick up. I
know.
hope you do. I've done a little
Yeah.
bit of it if you need any pointers.
Have you done some of that?
Yeah, I did a little bit of matting and framing in a class and then brought a little bit of that home. Didn't have
Nice.
enough of the tools to continue on with it, but really
Yeah.
enjoyed it. Like,
Yeah.
really got into it. I was like, oh, this is so cool.
You strike me as a person who has practical skills.
I do. I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I oldest daughter of single mommed my life. So
Yeah.
we didn't have money to hire a plumber.
Yeah.
So I went and figured out how plumbing worked.
Mm,
Like I
hmm.
also had a really incredibly strong single mom who really modeled that, who was
Yeah.
like, well, we just do it ourselves. That's how
Yeah.
we do it. We
Hmm.
figure it out. And um, yeah, I do. And so does my husband, which is
Hmm.
funny, but we also have vastly different experiences.
Mm.
Um, I was on the assigned female side of
Yeah.
things and was not, it was very, very hard to get information on how to fix cars or
Yeah.
houses or
Hmm.
plumbing out of men,
Right.
especially in the 90s when I was doing
Yeah.
this. And like, whereas Ben was, I don't know how many generations of men who owned, garages full of
Yeah.
tools, that know every single thing and how it works and what it
Right.
does. And there's a tool for that. And
Right.
here's the special way to use it. And we often we will come to this space of where I'm like, oh, I know how to do that. And I
Yeah.
go grab my trusty like butter knife. Yeah, not quite that bad, but
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. Yeah.
and he's like,
Yeah.
what are you doing? There's this and this and that. So I'm learning a
Like
lot.
I'm doing it the DIY way.
Yeah, I mean, and I have to explain to him a lot. I'm like, this information it wasn't just given to you. You were fetched to get this information. It was
Yeah.
like, go
Mhm.
get the boy. He needs to know how to do this.
Yeah, right.
And we didn't get that. I was
Yeah.
going into the auto parts store, my husband at the time holding the baby.
Hmm.
I'm in there with the part in my hand,
Hmm.
saying words out of my mouth like, I've got a 357 Cleveland in my Torino, and I know that's not stock, but someone replaced it, and I need the right rotor pump for that. And they're turning to him and asking this hapless, beautiful man who's just caregiving this child beautifully, like, so what, well, so you want to exchange the water pump? He's like, what?
Like, is that in a car? I don't know. I don't know what you're
Yeah, I don't
talking about.
know. The baby needs a diaper change. I guess. There's this like,
Yeah.
yeah, it
Mhm.
we were not, and it's not, the world was doing the best it could,
Yeah, right,
and I
right.
really believe that. And I think it still is, but I
Yeah.
constantly do have to remind them that, like, yeah, I've got the practical
Yeah.
skills, but I was not always given the knowledge of how to get
Yeah.
there the right
Hmm.
way. So, yeah, I've got a
It's
lot of it.
interesting. So PJ talks about, and I never thought about this, but PJ says that the reason that they have a lot of practical skills is because they're autistic, and the idea of picking up a phone and calling somebody is so horrific to them that they
Mm,
would like, if the toilet's broken, and I mean, now I do a lot of this stuff, like I don't mind calling people and
sure.
arranging appointments, but that it sounds like terrible to them. They're like, if the toilet broke and it was between like me figuring out on my own how to fix it or calling a plumber and arranging a schedule, I would rather teach myself plumbing.
You know, I really feel that. That makes a lot of sense. And I don't know. I have no diagnosis on what my neurodivergence is. It must exist because everyone I know is.
Yeah.
But that makes a lot of
Didn't
sense
we?
to me.
Oh, I was gonna say this is in a later episode when we heard it made me laugh so hard. Later, looking forward, Ava Adore says that there's two ways to get diagnosed as neurodivergent, and it's like officially or through peer review.
Yes. I
That
looked
was
around at
so,
every peer I had and I'm like,
yeah. Mhm.
so I'm not the only one.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, that,
not how statistics work.
yeah. You don't just hang out with neurodivergent people
No.
as a completely neurotypical person.
No, you really don't. No. It was the birth of memes really helped me realize my
Yeah.
neurodivergence. So I was like,
Hmm.
oh, I'm exactly like these people and not at all like those people. Okay,
Yeah.
well, yeah, I knew something was different.
Well, also it helps you like to realize like how you're different from people because I feel like there's like so many, you just take your own experience for granted and think that that's like how other people are experiencing the world. And then when you
Right.
realize they're not, you're like, wait, what?
Oh, yeah,
Wait, this is easy for
absolutely.
other people? I thought this was like a major stumbling block. Okay.
Right. And to bring it back to our incredible guest, just like Phoenix, who's like, oh, yeah, I just don't really watch TV. It's not a big deal. And then I just grow things and then I make things out of them and then I can them and I put
I
them away and it's just so easy. Like, I know how to do everything that you're doing. And no, it's not. But you're kind of amazing. So
Yeah.
whatever. I really want to taste your
Yeah.
preserves.
I know. I loved it. I loved hearing all that. And it was so fun when they were like, oh, yeah, we'll just like, it's super easy to make like sugar scrubs. And I was like, what? You
Yeah.
just make those at your
Yeah.
house? And then when they told us how to do it, I was like, oh, right. Yeah. I guess that's all of that is. That's
That's
inside of that thing.
I worked with an incredible body care company that works specifically with essential oils for their scents, and we
Hmm.
did a little DIY. It didn't end up being exactly on brand, but we were trying a bunch of stuff, and it was so silly how
Uh-huh.
easy this stuff is to make. Not everything, like, lotions require
Yeah.
emulsion, and that requires
Yeah.
a lot of blending that is not easy. Making soap requires working with lye, which is caustic. There are some exceptions, but like making a lip balm is like you could really do it with elementary school aged kids. You could
Yeah.
like make a lip balm together. As long as you're safe around hot
Yeah.
wax, you're good.
Yeah, and here's the thing. I'm listening to them. I'm listening to Phoenix. I'm listening to you. I'm hearing my partner be like, I'm not going to mat those frames for you. And then I'm thinking like, great. I want to do some stuff. Like, it's
Yeah,
making me feel like I want to do some stuff that's not just staring at my computer and like arranging words, but
absolutely.
like actually something else. And that's kind of
Yeah,
fun to have like an idea of like, because I think, especially when I was younger and I had two little kids and a husband that was in medical school and was never around and was like the sole breadwinner, but also the sole like child, it was like so
yeah.
busy for so long that I was like, when people were like, "Oh, what are your hobbies?" I'm like,
Making money and keeping my kids alive.
I don't
That
know.
count?
Do people do what do people do? I don't know. I don't know what people do.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
I'm getting to this point in my life where I'm like, wait, but I want to do something that's not just working and keeping my kid alive. There has to be like more to life than that.
And more than, to as a person who does both intellectual or does
Yeah.
more than both, I do intellectual pursuits, I do creative pursuits, but there's something really amazing about tangible work,
Yeah,
about,
right.
like I remember drywalling fondly
Mm-hmm.
because at the end of the day, I would walked into a framed place and I walked away from a room with drywall. It was ready to paint, it was all taped
Yeah.
up and like
Yeah.
physically changing the world really does make a difference. I want to
Yeah.
see your matted
Yeah, I haven't
pictures.
started yet. Yeah.
I know I'm
And
excited for the future.
yeah, me too. Oh, that's probably a good place to end. So,
Yeah.
you can follow us on, or make sure to like and subscribe to us on Instagram or YouTube. I don't know.
Anywhere. We'll take it
Anywhere. We'll
anywhere.
take
This is the
anywhere.
When We're Not Hustling after party, and I'm Emily Foster. I produce this show and talk to Jessie about it.
Yeah, sounds great.